Yo, what up guys? We are at an event today, another vlog style event. So if you guys remember about the week before last, so 2 weeks ago, I made a video about my experience doing the 48-hour film challenge and how that was basically absolute fucking hell in the worst way possible. Well, regardless of that, there is still a festival to attend, and that's what we're doing right now, the premiere for it. So yeah, this is the premiere. We're here at Sabre Cinema. I got here early. I genuinely thought it started at 1. I guess it actually starts at 1:30, so I'm half an hour early, and there's like nobody here right now. They have set up a few stuff so far, but the thing doesn't start about another half hour, and even then there's probably like half an hour of like mingle time, networking and all that good stuff. So it probably won't start for like another hour. So until like maybe 2 is when this thing is. And the other thing with that, which kind of ties in with the video I did from last week, where I was complaining about film festivals and how I personally do not feel supported at all by the film festivals down here in South Florida. For whatever reason this year, they decided to combine this film festival, the 48-hour film challenge screenings with the Arts Accelerated Film Festival, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's what I assume it is, because that's what the banner here behind me says, Arts Accelerated Film Festival. So I submitted a couple films there, didn't get in, which, generally speaking isn't bad. It just kind of is what it is. But when none of the films are from South Florida, that's where I have an issue. But besides the point, I mean, literally most of the films are from Orlando up. There's about 40 films that actually got accepted in, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around the 30-40 films, and only about 5 or 6 are actually from South Florida filmmakers, which, that sucks for obvious reasons. But besides the point, so yeah, I'm here. We're gonna see how it is. The screening is for this whole day. I'm here from 1 to 11, maybe 11:30, because that's how this whole thing is. I bought the all-day pass, which was pretty penny, $65. Which it is what it is. It is what it is. At that point, I don't know, because I mean beforehand, because when I did the 48 in previous years, it was pre-pandemic. We didn't have to pay for the entrance. We kind of just like went in. It was basically a free event. So now that we have to pay, it's kind of and the fact that we have to pay that much. But the thing is, it is tied into the Arts Accelerated Film Festival. So for a film festival, that I do expect for payment, but I don't know. I'll be honest, just the way it's sort of already panned out from the start, I'm not the biggest fan of it, if I'm being completely honest, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens throughout the end of the day. Hopefully we get to see some of the other people from the film. Most of them. There's one person I do not want to see. Again, you know who it is if you saw the video, but yeah, it's basically, and just to kind of give you guys a fit check. That's what I'm wearing. Suit, white turtleneck from H&M. And yeah, the little chain, little bling ring right there. Get the rings. A little bit of fit check. So yeah, that's basically it. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day. And that is Group A screening. I think there's 3 rounds of screening for the 48, 3 of them, and then there's the actual film festival, which today they're just doing workshops, from what I understand. It's supposed to be going on for this whole weekend, so today and tomorrow. So I think today they're just doing workshops. I'm not sure about screenings. I'm not really sure, because again, they combined it with the whole 48, but whatever. So far, Group A was, I'd say generally speaking, was really good. A lot of good films in the mix. I really liked it. There's some people in the films I didn't expect to see, like Matt Robeo, who I've worked with on a number of occasions. I saw Steve and in one of the shorts, which I didn't expect to see him there. A lot of people I didn't expect to see just in screens. It's funny because, like, despite how packed it is right now, there's like not many people that I know, if that makes sense, which, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'll network my way out. You know, that's usually why I just network. As for the film itself, well, I mean, if you guys saw the previous video, I basically said it was sabotaged. That's real. It is what it is. Actually, funny enough, that was the title of Matt's film, the one he acted in. It is what it is. But for us, I mean, part of me wants to say I'm disappointed, and I am disappointed. Don't get me wrong, but like, I already expected this to. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I expected it to be bad, and it was bad. So that's really it in that regard. I don't really know what else I can add that I haven't already added in the previous video. She is here. I'm trying to avoid her because I just do not want to see her face at all. I'd rather not. I'd rather just avoid her because I'm not gonna have anything nice to say. I don't feel like creating a scene, so I'm trying to avoid her. If I do happen to run into her, I'll be cordial, but you know, she's gonna be just like she was passive aggressive to me. I'll be passive aggressive back. I don't give a shit. Here's the thing. Yes, I was disappointed by how it was gonna turn out at the end, regardless. But I think even with that, even despite the fact that we were sabotaged, I'm not even gonna lie, because I told Stephanie, my co-star, even despite that, it still came out worse than I thought it actually would be. So, like, they didn't even have the credits. Like, the editor didn't put the credits at the end. So I'm like, why? Just like that. There's some weird editing choices in the mix as well. So, like, weird cuts essentially. So I don't really know what that's about. But I don't know. Hopefully I'll get the film and then we'll show it out however it is, and that's about it. And I am looking because they are coming in my direction, and it's time to be cordial. Hopefully the other screens are gonna be good. I know Kaz has a screening, who's another actor we're gonna work with in this film, but then he thankfully left. Thankfully for him, because Jesus Christ. But no, I still have some other people here that we're gonna talk to, that I'm friends with, etc., etc., etc. So I am excited to see their films. Well, past that, you know, we'll see what happens. Audience choice, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't vote for my film because I did not think it was the best film in the audience. I'm not gonna lie. I voted for Matt's film, and there's a film at the end, I forget what it's called right now. It was really, like, the last one was really, really good. There was a film about social media in the mix. I thought that was really effective. That was surprisingly good. Like, there's a lot of films here that were good. I think even if my film would have actually been good, I don't think I would have voted it, to be honest, because there's some really good ones here. I will say that much. But yeah, we'll see what happens next. So here's a very weird side note that I did not expect to happen, but since I'm the most, not to be arrogant or ego, but whatever, but since I'm like the most well-known person from the cast and crew, because I've been in this game for several years at this point, I didn't expect all of them to like assume that I was the director of the project. A lot of people keep asking me like, oh, how was it directing this, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. I'm like, I didn't direct it, I just was the main character, but I did not direct it at all. I wrote it, produced it, acted in it, but I was not the director. And a lot of people keep asking me director questions. I'm like, no, that Greg is the director, I'm not the director. So I'm like, I don't know, that's just a very funny turn of events. Just felt like I wanted to share. Let's go with that. And we're back, and as you can see, it's nighttime. I'm not sure if you can see it right there, but it's currently like 8:10, 8:15, somewhere around there. So the B block happened, and then immediately right afterwards we went into an acting workshop. Actually, there was an acting workshop before that, but I missed it because lunch, essentially. Because we had the A block, which is where my films were a part of. Then there was a writing workshop for like about an hour, which again I missed it because lunch, networking, etc., etc. Then there's the B block, and then right immediately after that was this workshop by Richardson Cherry, who's this actor. I don't know who he was before today, so, but yeah, I think he was very insightful, generally speaking. Just to kind of touch upon the B block with all the films. Honestly, I thought the B block was a lot better, had just the better films in general. And I mean, I think I'm also just a bit biased because I know more of the filmmakers in the B block, like Sharon LeVar, Mariah was in one, Rachel was in one. So like I know more of the filmmakers in the B block than the A block, so I think that kind of gave it a boost. Gary was in one of two of the films actually, so I think that kind of made it funner. But I mean, I'll be honest, just in general, all the B block short films were just a lot better, a lot funner. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there always seems to be like in any film screening where it's split up into A block, B block, or C block, whatever, into different blocks. There's always some blocks that are better than others because of X, Y, and Z. And in this case, the B block was just better because it had, I don't know, the better films. I don't even know how to say it. Cause that he was in 2 films as well. I just remember that. So just a bunch of great people there. And yeah, it was overall really good. I will say it did seem a little bit longer than A block. I'm not sure if it was the same amount of films. To be honest, I don't even know how many films A block was to begin with. But I will admit that the B block just seemed a bit longer in general. Where in the last like 2 or 3 films, I was like starting to nod off a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm like, so I was like, can it end already? Can it end already? Can it end already? It's not ending. What the fuck? So that was a little bit annoying. But yeah. So that was good. And then the workshop by Richardson Cherry. Overall, I think it was great. I do think he's very insightful, and he's been acting for about 20 years, give or take. So he has a lot of experience in the industry, and overall, I would say it's great. The one real thing I guess I disagree with when it comes to act, because he was an actor. He's an actor, so he's giving acting advice. And the one thing I kind of disagree with, and it's not to say it doesn't work. It does work. I just think the example he gave for this workshop wasn't the best example. And it's that with all types of acting, whatever you do, the point of it is to connect with the audience and connect with your scene partner. That is the point of acting in that regard. And he touched upon that, as he should. But and then the way he did it is that he wants to, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, by the way. Again, I just think the example he gave was bad. And what he really wanted to focus on was the stillness of the words, or the stillness of the cadence of how the words are coming out, or the stillness of how the actor is portraying the words. He wants to focus on stillness, and that is something I definitely do agree with. There is a certain beauty in just being still, being in the moment, being there. And to a certain degree, not even to a certain degree, just being there helps us, sometimes shows more of the actor than doing these big, bombastic speeches, going far out, acting crazy, etc., etc. But I think the example he gave just wasn't the best. And what he did is, he asked people, oh, do you guys have a monologue? At the ready, blah, blah, blah. And he picked this actor. I've seen her before, I just don't remember her name. Like, someone that, I just, like, casually know in the industry. And she did this monologue, and I thought it was her first go around, the first time she did it, like, her regular, the way she's been practicing it all this time, I thought was fantastic. And then she gave her, and then he guided, because he doesn't like saying the word notes, so he guided her. And the way he was guiding her, again, he was trying to guide her by, telling her to, like, really feel the words, try to connect with people, all that typical good stuff. But for me, at least, as she was doing it through his guidance, I honestly lost interest in the monologue, and I was getting bored. That's really it. I was just getting bored because the way she was doing it. Yes, it was, and I know it seems kind of ironic with what I just said, but with what I just said, how there is a beauty with being still, but there's also a beauty in knowing who you are as an actor, knowing what you can do as an actor, and knowing how you can use the words to your advantage as an actor. And sometimes the words need to be that grandiose, bombastic attitude. And for the monologue she did, it needed that. At least with her iteration of it needed that. Because with the way he was guiding her, it was losing me. And I could tell it was kind of losing some of the other people. Again, I understand. I like the concept behind it. Again, just not the best example he gave. or with the person he did it with. And then he also did this other exercise where he gave us 10, which I kind of misunderstood right off the bat, with these 10 words that you're seeing on screen right now. And the exercise behind it was to make up a story using these 10 words. So, I went to Europe and it was April, and I went on this plane to the capital of France, which is Paris, for, some shit like that. And that was the point of the exercise, but I completely misunderstood it. And instead, I was thinking, oh, let me do like Le Bon effort actions, which, if you know what that is basically focused on the movement. And that's what I was focused on. I didn't think about doing a monologue, or like BSing a monologue, so to speak, until Cause was the first one to go up, so to speak, and he did his little mini monologue based on the words. I'm like, oh, that's what you needed to do. Oh shit. So I'm like, I'm really hoping he doesn't get to me, because I am not gonna be able to do a monologue, because I was focused on the movements, which I'll be honest, was really interesting, because I was sitting down the whole time. I couldn't stand up, so I'm trying to imagine these movements in my head. I still think it was effective, but not what he was going for. But I still thought, overall, I thought he had a really good and effective workshop. I just think that some of the examples he gave weren't the best, especially with the person he was working with. And then the fact that I kind of like misunderstood his point on the assignment, or I guess the instructions of the assignment, and I basically did my own thing. That was something else. But overall, it was pretty good. Now, they are doing interviews. I'm going to see if I could get myself a little interview for Probo, and then go from there. I know right now they're doing the Florida screenings, the screenings for the film festival that I got rejected from like 3 times over, because they don't want to select South Florida films, despite the fact that they're advertising it to South Florida films. You tell me that one. Give me the logic on that one. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I could get interviewed, and then I'm assuming the award ceremony should be within the next hour and a half. I want to say something around those lines. Not a snowball chance in hell that La Familia, that's the name of my film, La Familia, gets any kind of nominations or awards. Not a snowball I'll be fucking shocked if it gets even nominated, because no. Also, I'm pretty sure we turned in the film late, so we can't even get nominated for anything aside from like audience favorites or anything like that. But yeah. Let's see what happens next. And hello, we're back. It is the next day, it's the next morning. I'm at my dad's house, which is why we have a different background, and the bedhead. Yeah, I woke up about half an hour ago, give or take. But yeah, so the last thing I told you guys about was my thoughts on the second half of the B block, as well as the Richardson Cherry workshop. So that's what we last talked about. I did an interview for the film, and it was good, I want to say. Hopefully it comes out soon, so you guys can go see it. If anything, I'll post it up here too. But yeah, I mean, I had to kind of dance around some of the more negative aspects of the film when they started asking me what were some of the hard difficulties of making such a production. And I just talked about how, people need to check their egos at the door, essentially, and because if not, then difficulties will arise. So I try to be as diplomatic as possible about that. I didn't say her name. So we did the interview, and I mean, the interview was good for the most part. The only thing is, and it's not even their fault. It's not even Arts Accelerated's fault or Angelica who did the interview. It's not even their fault. It's just the fact that there was this kid who I guess is like a valet parker for like the building next door or whatever. And I guess he got off of work and he just decided to come here. And he was just being annoying, if I'm being honest, and he like kept interrupting, not like the other person's interview, the person who was ahead of me, and photobombing random people. Like that was like, what the fuck? And they did try to get him out. The thing is that this place, Saber Cinema in general, just doesn't have security. The staff there, who are like 3 or 4 people at any given time, I guess you could say they double that security on top of doing the janitorial work and the concessions. It's a very small cinema. That's the thing. So but they're inside taking care of whatever business they need to take care of, so they don't really have security. And then the other thing I thought about while I was here, like kind of dealing with this kid who I was just thinking he better not fucking ruin my interview. The other thing I was thinking is like, because I know I mentioned this earlier, how the price of the ticket, since I bought the all day pass, it was $65. But I was just thinking I could have literally bought the $15 ticket for one of the screenings and then just stay there the whole time because nobody was checking that shit at all, straight up. That's the other thing I thought about. But back to the interview. I mean, the interview went well. Like I said, I just had to dance around that question about the difficulties. I didn't name that person, but it is what it is. So that was good. That was good. And then from there we went into the award show, the award ceremony, and as expected, we won diddly squat because why the fuck would we win? And it was a bad film, anyways. But and even then, I think I mentioned this earlier, but we didn't even turn it on time. If I'm not mistaken, I think we turned it in like half an hour late or something like that. So we couldn't get we weren't eligible to be nominated for anything to begin with, aside from poster design and audience favorite, which we weren't going to win to begin with. Poster design maybe, but like not really. It's like I guess there's a snowball chance in hell, but I don't remember who won poster design. If I'm being honest, I don't remember who won. But yeah, no, some of the films that won. I mean, there's a bunch of great films that won. I think is it a company called Charlanu, something like that, or La Charna. It's Sharon and Lavar's like joint company, just for the sake of this production, this project, better said. Sharon and Lavar's, which I think that was just a favorite in general. They did win audience favorite, so that makes sense. Yeah, but they won 3 awards, like best. I think it was like best directing, best use of line, and best poster. I mean, was it not posters? Like, and best audience favorite. So they won those 3 awards. And the thing is, I legit thought they were gonna win best film, or I'd be within the top 5, because that's what they did. They did the top best 5 films of the contest, the festival, whatever, and they didn't get it in there, which I was like very surprised. Everybody was very surprised when they got snubbed because they're like some guy yelled up, but they're the best ones. How did you snub them? Or something, some shit like that. Like the Ladyfingers, which I met some of their people. Actually, I knew one of them from working on a project about a month or 2 back. But I met some of the people from that production, and they won. I think it was like best ensemble, I believe. So that was really good. Gary Allen, one of his films that he acted in, won best film of the festival in general, which makes, I mean, I think it was, technically speaking, one of the better made films, arguably one of the best made films, technically speaking, and even story wise, everything was just great about it. So it makes sense that one won best film. It was Songs of Lolita, something like that, Sad Songs of Lolita, something like that. That was really good. I mean, again, a lot of these films across the board were really good. A lot of them, some of them, not really. It is what it is. Actually, that was one of the name of the films. That was Matt's film. It is what it is. I don't remember if I mentioned that earlier. Matt Robeo. I've worked with him in the past. And I was surprised to see that he did a film here. I was surprised to see a lot of people who did films like Mariah, who I hadn't seen since before the pandemic. She did a film where she played I forget what the name was, but she played a secret agent who was arresting this guy for like child abduction or something like that, or I guess kidnapping, something like that, human trafficking maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so there's that. Like I said, Steven did a film, Jack Danger, and I worked with him on actually one of the Silent Locale cinematic episodes. He was a violin player, so we did an episode together, and I was surprised to see him there. Him in a film, better said. He wasn't actually there, sadly. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, it's an experience. It kind of just is what it is. There are some good takeaways. There are some bad takeaways, as with everything. Yeah, I mean, the one I would say about this festival in general is that, and look, every festival to a certain degree does have this issue, but maybe it's because they combined essentially 2 different festivals in one that I noticed this a lot more. But it was very I'm gonna be honest, it was very disorganized at certain points, at certain times. And again, it could just simply be because of the fact that they were combining two festivals at the same time, which I don't know why they did it like that, but okay. But yeah, I just found it to be very disorganized at times, and I mean, Dana, she's doing the best she can. She's the overall runner for Arts Accelerated. I think she's like the president, and she does have her people there, Sandy and like the person is literally called Lovely, which okay. There's some other people in the mix, but it is a hard task. Running one festival is hard enough. Running two at the same time, I'll be honest, I don't understand the logic behind that one, but hey, you do you, girl. Just next time for the actual film festival, not the 48 hours, the actual film festival, try to pick films that are actually from South Florida. That will be very much appreciated. Just saying. Yeah, because like her judges, none of them were based out of South Florida, straight up. Like, so I didn't understand why. I'm not even sure they're based out of Florida now I think about it. But whatever. That's something I'm never gonna get over. And again, it just doesn't apply to this festival. It applies to several festivals here in South Florida. They just refuse to actually support South Florida filmmakers. So yeah, that's basically it. Overall, it's an event. It was fun. Had its moments. I'm not gonna say it's the best experience I've had, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it was the best experience. I'm not even gonna say it's the best screenings I went to for the 48-hour film challenge. I'm not even gonna say that much. But it was great to reconnect with a lot of people. It was great networking with a bunch of new people. Overall, it was just a very fun environment to be in, a very fun environment to work on. In this case, I mean, I guess for this half, not the actual filming, because that was absolute fucking hell. But this portion, getting there, watching the screenings with everyone, just seeing what some of these other people, how they took the prompts, the character, the prop, the line, and how they used it, and whatever genre they got, and how they used it to make their film. And then, of course, it's great to hear that nobody else had any problems when it came to people under production having egos. That's very comforting. Some of them did have issues when it came to like the camera or the sound, but like, you could just excuse it with it's a 48. We have 48 hours to do this. We have 2 days to do this. Yeah, some of this suffers. That's why, and I forget if I mentioned that beforehand, but like our sound wasn't up there. Our editing, I thought it was fucking horrendous. If I'm being honest, I didn't understand some of the cuts we made. Like, what the hell was that? But besides the point, because they kept asking me, because for some reason everybody kept thinking I was the director. I'm like, no, I'm not the director. I'm just an actor. I'm guessing it was cut like that, or it sounds like that, because we ran out of time to properly edit the audio or properly edit the film itself, because we ran out of time. You always have that to fall back on. Great. So yeah, that's basically it for now. It's an experience. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully next year, because I do now plan on doing this on a yearly basis. I mean, that was always a plan, because I've been doing this since 2017. And I did it 2017, 2018, 2019, and then the pandemic hit. And from what I understand, they were still doing it in 2020, 21, and 22, but just under different parameters because of the pandemic. But now that everything's again opening up, I'll definitely keep doing it from now on out, and just work with people that I know I can actually work with. So yeah, that's basically it for now. You're gonna be seeing a few pictures from the event now, pretty soon, and yeah, that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.